Accu-Stats Video Productions presents World Class 9-Ball. Hi everybody, I'm Pat Fleming, and I'm here with Jose Garcia at the Cue Ball Billiard Lounge in Vineland, New Jersey. Jose, how are you?
Good, Pat. Thank you.
Jose Garcia played a match at the U.S. Open that was so incredible that he agreed to do what's popularly known as a player review. He and I will sit here and watch the game and make comments about the play and also about Jose's career. Well, do you remember this game?
Vaguely I remember it, but...
Well, I remember it well. You played superbly. In fact, of all the matches that we videotaped that week, this particular match had the highest Accu-Stats score, if you will. You shot a 958, and maybe as we review the game, we'll even find those very few minute mistakes that we charged you with, and you can argue over them.
Okay. I think I know which ones they are.
All right. Tony Robles is a friend of mine and yours, and we've known him for many years.
That's right.
And both of you were born in Puerto Rico, is that right?
No, I was born in Puerto Rico. I think Tony was born in New York.
Oh, okay.
But we're both Puerto Rican.
Okay. So there's some friendly rivalry there. People know both of you and root for each of you?
Yeah, Tony's a great guy, and we get along very well, and he's very competitive, and so am I.
Well, Tony's done very well on the Pro Tour for the last few years. You know that. And so when you drew Tony, you knew that you were in store for a tough match.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a tough match. But I just finished playing a tough match with Jimmy Wedge, who went 11-10, and I lost. So I was kind of ready for this match.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tony broke the balls, and he made a ball on the break, and he's probably considering playing safety and making the 9. Do you think that's what he did?
Yes, that's exactly what he was doing. He makes a nice shot here.
And there you go.
And it's 1-0, and...
Okay, Tony's going to break the balls again. Let me ask you a couple of questions in between the racks. Number one, how old are you now?
I'm 43.
And when did you start playing pool?
I started playing when I was 10. And
did you play on a slate table when you were 10?
Yeah, I played right here in this room.
Oh, wow. And so that was 36 years ago. And who owned the room at that time?
Frank DiOrio. That was 33 years ago. Okay. You're making me a little older than I am.
Okay. And how old were you when you started seriously playing?
I played in my first World Straight Pool Championship in Asbury Park in 1977.
So how old were you then?
I was 22.
Okay. All right. Tony's ready to break the balls again. He's leading the match 1-0.
Tony has a good break too. He really hits the balls hard.
All right, he made a ball on the break, and there are some problems at the bottom of the table,
yeah,
the foot of the table. So we'll see what he does there.
I kind of felt pretty confident here that he wasn't going to get out, that I was going to come to the table again. When your opponent breaks, you kind of hope there's a couple of balls tied up.
Right. By the way, while he's studying the shot, let me ask you, what's your favorite game? Is it 9-ball or is it straight
I would
pool?
rather play straight pool because I think I play a little bit better, but I like playing 9-ball too. I like playing 10-ball and 8-ball.
Uh-huh.
I guess it really doesn't matter to me what we play.
Well, after you watch this game, it looks like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Tony makes a nice shot here.
What is his next ball? Do you know?
It's the 2-ball, and it's close to the pocket there on the left.
Mm-hmm. So now he's deciding whether he should try and break those balls up or not.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think what he wants to do is come off the rail and hit the 6 and have the 6 bounce off the rail and the cue ball to carry him more or less to where he's at now, mm-hmm. where he just pointed the finger.
Right. Well, Tony's a veteran. He's probably played in more pro events than you have in the last few
Yeah,
years.
Tony plays in basically all the events. He takes it serious, and he wants to become a better player, and that's what you have to do. You have to be in competition. That's one thing that I have to do more of. I just can't find the time. Now, that didn't work out the way he wanted to, but he has a good save.
Well, while he's pondering this, let me ask you a couple more questions. Our viewers, the reason I'm asking these questions is because our viewers always ask me, what do the players use as far as cues and tips, and tell me a little bit about your cue stick.
Well, I use a Falcon cue, and I really love my cue. I'm not a fanatic about cues. I usually have one cue and I stick with it, but I love my Falcon cue. And it's nothing fancy, but it hits well. And it's 19 3/4, the weight of it, and a 13 millimeter shaft, and it's 59 inches long. I've always had a 59-inch cue.
Wow.
And
standard being 57 and 8.
Well, back when I started, it was 57.
Right.
Tony's going to play safe here. I remember he asked me to watch it because he's going to come off the rail.
Thanks for getting out of the way of the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes off the rail and he hits the ball, and then the ball hits the rail again, which made it a good save.
Right. Well, you're in a spot here.
Yeah, I'm in a very bad spot.
What about the pockets on the table? They were tight that week. Does that play a role in how you play? Does it affect your game?
Well, it really doesn't affect my game too much because from playing a lot of straight pool, I tend to hit balls softly anyway, so I prefer playing on tight pockets because it suits my game a little bit better.
Well, let me tell our viewers that Jose Garcia has plenty of 100-ball runs in straight pool, so he knows what he's doing there. How about practicing? I know this game's taken a while because it's a little difficult layout, but I know that you don't play as much as you used to 20 years ago. Is that right?
That's right.
You used to play probably every day, and
I used to play 10, 12 hours a day every day.
wow. And this is when you were in your early 20s?
My late teens, from when I was like 12 years old until my late teens, and then I practiced a little less after that. But right now, I really don't practice much at all. I think it hurts my game to practice too much.
Now, what you did here is you took an intentional foul.
Mm-hmm.
You bunted at the 9-ball. Scott Smith is in front of the layout right now, but you tapped the 9-ball, and the purpose of which was to expose it more, I guess, so that...
Correct, and to give Tony a shot at it, and I didn't intend to give him a billiard on this shot here, but it looks like I did, and he executed it perfectly.
Sure, Scott Smith is there. Look for any unusual hit, but Tony's aware of it, and it looks like he's jacked up. He's going to get out of the way. Pretty good.
Yeah,
Great.
he made a very nice shot.
Great shot. Scores now 2-0, and although you played a great session, you haven't had an opportunity yet.
No, not at all. As you can see, there's a great shot at my back from racking the balls. Position I really don't like to be in too much, but...
All right, you said you don't practice much anymore. What happens before a U.S. Open?
I usually practice an hour a day for about a week before I go to a tournament.
And do you play someone? Do you try and match up?
No, I just practice by myself. I don't play anybody.
And you play with 9 balls on the table, or you do routines?
I usually play straight pool, actually. And
before a 9-ball tournament?
Yeah, before a 9-ball tournament, because it gets my stroke going, and I start hitting balls softly, and that's basically what I want to do.
Oh, great.
I tend to get closer to the balls because of straight pool. I play position a little closer, and that's why I hit them softly.
Well, our viewers will really appreciate your style once you do get at the table, and you will get your opportunities this set, and it's really beautiful to watch. Okay, Tony made a ball on the break again.
I think he made 2 balls this time.
All right, that's it. Indeed he did. But that's the 3rd break in a row that he did make a ball. And as I look at the score sheet that I'm viewing now for that match, it looks like both of you made a ball on the break usually.
Correct. The balls were breaking fairly well on this table.
What about break shot strategy? When you approach a table for the first time, where do you put the cue ball? Do you move it around, or do you usually start in a certain spot? What do you do with 9-ball break shots?
Well, as you see here, we're in the break box, and I usually like to start off from one corner, and I usually break twice from that spot, and nothing goes in, I switch to the other corner. And if things aren't going well for me, then I tend to go to more to the center of the table. Yeah. But if things work out okay in the beginning, I stick with it.
Okay. And what about if things aren't working, you tried all the spots, do you try and hit a different part of the 1 ball, or do you still try and hit it square?
I still try to hit it square. I think hitting the 1 ball solid is the way to go.
You know that in the last year or so, since they've introduced the break box, a lot of the players are hitting the side of the 1 and going into the side rail.
Correct.
Some players are doing well at it, and they stuck with it, and some didn't like it and go back to the traditional break.
Well, I'm a more traditional player, and I like hitting the ball solid. Tony on this shot, I believe he was trying to get on the other side of the 5 so he can pocket it in the same pocket that he just pocketed the 4. Mm-hmm. And he hit it, and he was fortunate to open up a shot for him.
Yeah, that will happen. If he makes this 5, it looks like he's going to finish the rack up, which he probably will. Let me mention something to the viewers before they start seeing you play. In 1988, you played at Resorts International in Atlantic City, and there were 356 players, and it was a top quality event. I think Mike Siegel won it, or
Mike Siegel won it. Nick Varner finished 3rd.
And
second, I'm sorry.
Right, because Jose Garcia was 3rd.
I was 3rd, right.
Out of a field like that. So this is the caliber of player that we're speaking with today. He finished 3rd in a 356-player top professional tournament in Atlantic City in 1988. How about the speed of the cloth at the U.S. Open? Was it kind of normal? Was it fast, slick?
Well, it's basically normal for a new cloth. I enjoy it myself because I hit balls soft anyway, mm-hmm. and I like moving the cue ball around, and it makes it easier for me. So I prefer a new cloth and the speed of the tables at the U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm. What about, I think we used Simonis 860.
Correct.
Do you like that cloth?
Oh, I love that cloth. That's the cloth that I have here. It's more durable than the 760. It's just a little bit slower, but really can't tell much.
Now, your billiard room is called the Cue Ball Billiard Lounge.
Cue Ball Billiard
Lounge. It's in Vineland, New Jersey.
Correct, and it's been here since 1962.
And how many tables do you have?
I have 17.
17, and it's a beautiful room, and we're right now in a tournament room area. We needed some place to be quiet so that we could do this player review, and if anybody's in the New Jersey area, make sure you stop by Jose's room in Vineland, New Jersey. Okay, Jose is now, Tony Robles is leading 3-0. He made 2 balls on the break, and he's shooting at the 2 ball.
I think he's going to try to break up those 2 balls there that are in trouble, which he does, but he snookered himself because the 3 is next to the side pocket.
So he probably wanted to bump them and still have the 3. Although I didn't see the layout, I'm not sure if he had a shot at them anyway. Okay, he tried to masse a little bit and curve his cue ball to make the 3. And this is your first time at the table where you have a ball in a pocket.
Right, my first offensive move.
All right. This video, everyone notices that it is a single camera video. The reason is that there's only so many matches that we can do a day with a staff and crew, and once in a while there's other matches that we would love to do, but it's impossible and we can't do them all. So we'll turn on a camera, and if it's a great match, we'll do a player review on it. And this happened to be one of those. And we do it often, and we rarely, if ever, take the time to do a player review. It's really got to be an exceptional match. Well, it looks like you didn't have much problem here.
No, that was like a connect the dot run out there. It was pretty simple.
All right, you're going to make the 9, and the score is going to be 3-1. All right, now you're going to be breaking the balls for the first time. Did you take into account where he was breaking, or you just go to where you start?
I just go to where I start and go from there.
Okay.
But I believe I start having success early, so I stick with it.
By the way, when you started playing pool, did you start playing 8-ball, straight pool, or 9-ball?
Straight pool.
Straight pool.
That's all I played.
All right, you broke the balls, and the 6 went in, and the 1 conveniently went up table towards the corner pocket.
It's a great way to start.
Okay, fortunately, there's no 2 balls touching. No balls are blocked. So you feel like you've got a shot to get back in the game.
Yes, I do. I feel like I can get out from here and close the match at 3-2. And as I'm going along, it seems like I'm getting the right angle on all the shots, and that really gave me confidence that I didn't get out of line right away.
Right. Gonna draw back for the 4. Nice. There's that soft stroke that you told me
delicate
about.
shot. And then once that starts working, you never know what could happen.
Well, you're making it look too easy, Jose. Well, I don't foresee any problem here either. It's going to be 3-2, providing you get out. Of course, I'm looking at the score sheet. I know you get out. All right, this really puts you back in the game. Now it's 3-2. No longer does he have a 3-game advantage, and you've got to feel comfortable.
Yes, I do feel confident. And I really didn't want to get straight on that shot, but I needed an angle on it to bounce off the rail, but it was fairly simple.
Mm-hmm. During any pool match, there's a tension, and a lot of guys use powder. Do you use powder?
No, I don't use powder at all.
Did you ever use powder?
No, never use powder. I just use a little 800 sandpaper, and that's basically it.
I know I used to use powder years ago. I don't anymore, and I'm really glad I don't. I didn't like it at all, but I felt I had to use it at one time, but I don't use it anymore. All right, a ball went straight in the corner. Another one went in the side, and there's the 1 ball up near the...
1 ball next to the corner pocket, which I'm really happy about that.
Now that you know it's going in that direction, I guess you want to duplicate the break shot.
Yes, I'm really trying to hit him exactly the same way. It's a little difficult shot here because I'm over a ball. So you really have to concentrate on pocketing the ball.
Well, it looks like if you get position on the next ball, yeah, you got the right angle and everything. It looks good.
Plus, I have a soldier in the corner pocket there. Sometimes you hit a ball poorly and you have a little help.
Fence, call it too.
Yeah. This shot here, I go 2 rails. It's a little easier to go 2 rails than to just go 1 rail on a shot like this for position. It slows up the cue ball.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there wasn't a lot, too much difficulty in getting out this rack, and that's what we all hope for.
Right. Okay, it's 3 apiece, and you're gonna break the balls again. And now Tony is saying, "Boy, I was up 3-0, and I hooked myself, and now it's 3-3."
Yeah, things can quickly turn around playing 9-ball.
And you and Tony have met in the past in tournaments, is that right?
Yeah, we played, I believe, once before, and he won that match. But Tony's a great player. He can beat anyone at any given time.
That's right. All right. This is your third break. You got the 1 ball going upstairs, and you made another ball.
Yeah, the 1 ball's in the same spot every rack. I'm really beginning to enjoy this and feel more confident with every rack.
Well, I'm sure that Tony Robles notices.
Yes, he does. But it's better me than him.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, though, Tony.
All right. I think that the 2 balls at the bottom
Yeah, I'm
of
going to
the
have
table.
to draw it down the rail.
Wow, this looks risky here.
Yeah, which was a really good shot.
Well, once again, no balls are touching and no balls are blocking each other. That was your key shot.
Well, this shot here is very difficult also. I have to pocket the ball, hit the bottom rail there, and go straight up to play the 4 in the side because I don't have a pocket in the corner.
Oh, okay.
And I have to miss the 9 ball, so I have to give it a little inside English.
Right. On the monitor, it looks like you have the 4 in the corner, but if you don't, you've got a problem.
Right. So it's a speed control shot, but I'm feeling pretty good because I'm playing well and I'm in the match.
There's an inside English.
And
Nice
it winds
speed.
up perfectly.
Perfect.
I even have the right angle to get to the 5.
What a lot of viewers don't realize that players with a rack like that could make it look very difficult. You know,
Correct.
all they do is get out of line once, and boy, they're all over the table trying to
Exactly.
get back in line. So, you know, by staying in line, it just looks too easy.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're playing well. I think also straight pool players make things look easy sometimes because they control the cue ball so well.
Well, that's interesting that you practice straight pool before the 9-ball tournament and then put on a performance like this. What's that tell you? Start playing some straight pool, everybody. All right, this is going to put you at 4. You'll be in the lead now, 4-3. What about hobbies?
I like old cars. I have a couple of old cars, and I take them to shows and Chevys, of course.
Of course.
I have a 55 Chevy Bel Air and a 62 Chevy Nova. One is a classic, and the other one's a hot rod. So I have a little bit of both.
Now, in this tournament, the U.S. Open, there were, I think you said 202 players.
Correct.
And you finished in the money?
17th through 24th.
Well, anything like that is remarkable. Tough field it was. Buddy Hole, incidentally, won the event.
Here I came up empty on my break.
Okay, Tony's looking at how do I get to the 2. 2 is behind, in front of Tony. You can't see the 2 ball right now. He's got a stretch. It's almost towards that middle diamond up there.
Yeah, that's a little bit too far to stretch.
Yeah.
You lose control.
He might have the 2-9 combo. He might be going for that. I don't know what else he could be going for. I don't think he can get around otherwise.
I think he tries to play position for the 2 for a pocket. I don't think he's playing for the 2-9.
Yes, you're right. Okay, with the bridge, maybe he was playing a 9. With the bridge, it's difficult to get position like that.
Correct.
Okay, so he's
I believe he
ball.
plays the 9 on this shot, Pat, and he also plays the 8 in the corner. It's a two-way shot. And if I remember right, that's exactly what he does.
Yes, he did. He played both balls. Look at this.
And he almost made the 9. He hung it in the hole. Made a nice shot on the combination. He could see the edge of the 2 ball.
And is he going to try and make it or play safe? Is it that bad?
I think he tries to make it, and he also tries to make the 9. This is probably a 3-way shot, if there is any, but he tries to make the ball, play the 9, and leave me safe. But that's a 9-foot shot. Anything long is difficult. Doesn't matter if it's in the hole, it's still difficult. And he barely made the 9 on that shot.
Close, but no cigar.
This shot here, I can't make the 2 ball in the corner, but I can see it. So I decided to play a safe. And I believe I wound up a little short on my safe. Trying to leave the cue ball behind the 5 ball.
So you're rolling it?
Yes, I'm going to roll. Let's go off the rail and try to get it behind the 5, but I wound up a little short there.
Right.
Actually, it would have been a nice save if I hit it with a little bit more speed.
Right. Well, he has a shot, but it's not an easy shot. 3 ball is in a convenient spot if he makes the 2. He's jacked up.
Actually, he's playing position for the 5 ball in the back rail, and
why is that? Isn't?
Oh, you could be right, Pat.
He's
yes.
playing for the 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. I thought that was a 7.
No, that was the 3 ball, and he wanted to just hold his cue.
Hold the cue, right. I thought I might have shot that with a follow instead of a draw. It would have made the shot a little easier.
I was surprised, especially since the position was so easy.
Correct.
But then again, maybe he was more confident jacked up than rolling.
Yeah, that's possible. Everybody plays the shots differently.
Right.
This is a real delicate shot here.
Okay, you're going to roll up above the 3?
Yes, a little bit above the 3, and I'm going to try to go in between the 6 and the 8, I believe it is. And I have a lot of angle on this shot, so I don't want to let the cue ball run too much, so I have to hit it real soft. And on a fast table, it can get away from you.
Just so the viewers know that when you see a ball angled, like even this 3 ball, when you're at the table, it looks steeper. The monitor and the way the pool table lays on the monitor makes the shots look a little easier than live.
Correct.
There's some shots that on the monitor would appear that they go, but they don't go.
Exactly.
Well, that was the key part of this rack, getting on the 3 and with an angle to get on the 4.
Well, I was really happy when I made the 3. And the 9 is close to the hole, but I prefer to try to run out instead of playing a combination. I think you have more control of what's going on.
I saw Jim Rempe playing a match. He went to the hill with somebody, and the 9 ball was hanging. And it was so funny. He was my roommate, and we were laughing about it later. He tried to make get in position to play the combo on all 8 balls, and he never got the position. He had to run the rack. It was in a dog stroke. You know, he just couldn't get the combo, but fortunately he had other pockets. All right.
Yeah, this shot here, I wasn't happy with the result. I wanted to get closer to the rail so I can just lean over and shoot the 9, but I hit a little softly, and I had to use the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Well, given the ball's in the pocket, Hardly mattered where you ended up, other
That's
than
true.
you had to lean over and get the bridge. All right, score's 5-3. You were down 3-0, and now you're winning 5-3. It's your break again. You're going to try and duplicate the break that you've had success with.
Correct. I feel real fortunate to be ahead 5-3.
And you're not hitting them hard.
No, not really, not real hard. And I made a ball in the corner, and the one ball is in the same spot where I hoped it would be. Now this shot here, I remember this shot clearly because I have to get on the 2, which is close to the bottom rail, and I have to play position in between the 5 and the 7, and it worked out.
Oh, wow.
It worked out perfectly.
Well, I think that's the 3, though.
Is that the 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in any event, it was a skillful shot. Now you're playing a 2-4 combo.
Correct. And I got a little careless here because I didn't hit the ball as fat as I wanted to, and I'm left with a combination. Now this shot here is a two-way shot. I figure I'll bank it and get behind the 3 or the 5 just in case I happen to miss it. And if I made it, I have position on the 3.
Right.
And I ended up missing the shot, but I got lucky and left him safe.
Mm-hmm. That's a two-way shot where you're trying to make the bank, but if you miss it, you're hoping you miss it short.
Exactly.
So it bounces back.
Exactly.
Or miss it long, maybe I should have said.
I believe Tony massays this, and he was very unlucky because he
Oh, look at
scratches
this.
in the corner.
Yeah.
And that gives me ball in hand again, and the remaining 5 balls are fairly simple.
Right. So since Tony's onslaught in the beginning, where it was 3-0, he's really only made 2 balls since.
Right. Well, he hasn't come to the table much, except for that save.
Of course, during his 3 racks, you didn't make any.
Correct.
All right, yeah, ball in hand. It looks pretty easy as long as you don't, make a terrible mistake.
This shot here, I'm thinking about where am I going to put the cue ball where I can shoot this 7 ball. And I decided to put it play position where I'm straight and I can draw the ball back all the way to the rail where I'm clear of any trouble. And it was easier to do that than to play close position.
Right. There's a lot of margin for error there. You've got about 2 feet coming down and 2 feet bouncing off. You've got about 4 feet that you're in position.
Right.
All right. Are you straight on this? Do you remember?
I'm a little straight, but when you're straight and you're that close to the pocket, you can shoot the ball to either side of the pocket. But I was fortunate here that I didn't go in the side pocket. And I just caught the corner, and it wasn't a difficult shot on the 9.
All right. The score is now 6-3. And let's ask you a couple of more questions. Let me look at my notes here. You're a new dad, aren't you?
Yes, my wife just had a baby girl, September 29th.
Okay, and this match was September 19th.
Right, she was with me, and she was 8.5 months pregnant.
Wow. I'm sure she was quite happy with your play that week.
Yeah, she really likes going down to Virginia. And even though she was 8.5 months pregnant, she wanted to go.
All right, you made 2 balls on the break. And that 1 ball finds its way
Familiar spot.
to the familiar spot. And the 2 ball is on the right side of your screen on the lower half of the table.
A fairly simple run out. Kind of run outs you would like to have in these tournaments, Pat.
Oh, yeah. I've not had one. Your right hand, I noticed that it's at the end of the cue. Do you have a place that you like it, or wherever it feels good on the shot?
Just wherever it feels good on the shot. All shots are different, and
Right.
you hold the cue differently depending on your shot.
And would you say your bridge is a long bridge or short bridge?
I would say my bridge is longer than normal.
Just a little.
Just a little, yeah, a couple inches.
Yeah.
This shot here, I was trying to get over about another inch, and I was fortunate that I'm able to hit center of the cue ball, and I can force the shot over. I
Right.
can force the cue ball over for position. And I'm playing with confidence now, so things are just working out very well.
All right, we could chalk up another rack for you, Jose. The score is going to be 7-3. Tony's saying, when am I going to get a shot? Well, let me ask you this. Do you put on exhibitions? I know you go to Puerto Rico once in a while, do something down there, don't you?
Yeah, I love going to Puerto Rico all the time, and just because I love going to Puerto Rico, and I see a lot of the players there, and there's quite a few players that play very well. And we do exhibitions down there, different towns.
Now, wasn't there one or two players from Puerto Rico in this tournament?
No, there wasn't.
No.
There were some Puerto Rican players in the tournament, but not from Puerto Rico. They're
I
from the
see.
States.
I see.
I believe there was 5 total.
All right, you broke the balls, and you didn't get any luck there. Nothing on the break. But Tony doesn't have a shot either. He's going to have to play safety. Probably want to put you on the end rail. Oops, bumped into the 6, and might have left you a shot.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well for Tony, and he left me a shot. And I played
Right.
a combination here. And
You do have problems here. You have the 4th, 6 at the bottom.
Right. Well, I was thinking of leaving the one in the hole and trying to and then do something with that, break that up. But I end up making both of the balls. So I have to come up with something different.
So you're shooting at the 3, which is in the top half of the table.
No, well, I'm shooting at the 2, which is at the bottom.
Oh, this is the 2. I
The
see.
2, 6 are tied up.
You made the 1-4.
Exactly.
Right.
So I decided to play safe because there's no shot here to play except a safety. And I want to get the cue ball behind the 9 and the 6 around where the 8 ball is at. And
Or the 4. The 2 ball by the 8 ball.
yeah, the 2 ball by the 8 ball, yeah. And the cue ball behind the 9. And I believe I left Tony a hit on
You
that.
left
It's a
him the
makeable.
edge. You left them the edge. Now, here's
Exactly.
another example where on the monitor it looks easier than it really is. When you're at the table with the correct dimensions of a pool table, this is a very thin cut. Yep, he didn't get enough of it.
And the balls are pretty wide open here, and I really don't see much of a problem to get out. I got perfect on the 3 ball there.
Now, would you say that even now in your career that straight pool is your best game?
Yeah, I think I play just a little bit better than 9 ball. I should compete more. Everybody tells me that I should compete more, that I should be on tour on a regular basis, but I work my room a lot of hours, and that's the goose that laid the golden egg, and I have to
Take care of it.
take care of it, exactly.
Right.
But I go out once in a while. Now here I have to go in between the 7 and the 8 to get to the 6 on the bottom rail, which is a shot that a lot of straight pool players wouldn't find difficult at all.
Of course, you had to worry about getting straight or on the rail and things like that. So there was potential problem with that
Correct.
shot. You knew you would get in the right direction,
Right.
but you were hopeful that it would stop with a little angle
Yes,
off the rail.
exactly. Now here I decided to go up the table and bounce instead of drawing the cue ball to the rail. And again, I'm almost straight, which I really didn't want to be straight, but considering where the 9 is, it really didn't matter too much.
You just, okay, so you're on the rail, but it's not that difficult a shot. But it is missable, so you will take your time.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, score's 8-3.
Table is playing really well. It rolls really straight, and the speed is very consistent, and I like the table.
Now, this table is the Accu-Stats feature table, and it has special lighting that's hotter. Did you notice?
Yes, I noticed it was a lot hotter.
Which makes the table play drier.
Right.
So there's an advantage that the balls play, the table plays drier, but you could feel the heat of the lamps.
Yes, well, you do feel them. But I think you feel them more when you're losing. It's happened to me in the past, playing on the feature table. When I was down, the light seemed to bother me a little bit more.
I guess when things are going well, nothing will bother you. But things aren't going well, you'll find reasons. All right, well, Tony is one of his few opportunities to make a charge.
And Tony makes quick work of this rack. He plays fairly quick, as I do, and he runs out with no problem.
Well, the match was a quickly paced match, even though the score would reflect maybe a slightly longer game. I think if this game went to the hill, it would have been maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, no more than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We're both quick players.
Typically, a hill match goes 2 hours or better. All right, Tony runs 9 balls and out and closes the gap slightly. The score is now 8-4, Garcia.
You can't ever let up when you're playing 9-ball because your opponent can run 5 or 6 racks and get back in the match, and so you can't relax.
Now, it's interesting that most of our viewers, they may have seen your name listed in our catalog once or twice, but most of the viewers don't really know Jose Garcia. But if you ask any of the top players, they know Jose Garcia.
I've been around for a long time. I just don't participate as much as I should. I believe that I can play with anybody.
Oh, indeed, you've proved that.
And be competitive.
All right, Tony made blanked on the break, I should say. And, well, you've got a shot at the one, and you got a potential out.
Right, the one's in the hole, exactly where I like to see it.
All right, well, you've got to come out enough for the 2 and make sure you get on the right side of the 5. And there, I think, your only 2 potential problems.
Exactly. I think I jack up here a little bit and draw the ball back. And
how do you rate your game as compared to other players jacked up? Some players hate it and some players like it.
I think it all depends on how the match is going. If you're playing well and you're winning, usually those shots, things work out fairly well for you. I think I'm just an average jacked up player. I really don't mind it too much when it does happen.
I've noticed that you roll a lot of balls. You roll a lot of balls where some 9-ball players, punch everything.
Well, that comes from playing straight pool.
Right.
Now this shot here, I have a little angle, and I decide to bump the 6 so I can shoot it in the side instead of trying to get fancy with the cue ball. It makes things a little simpler.
All right, you've got to go up for the 7. You got to go on the short side?
Yeah, I got to go on the short side, so I decided to go to the rail first to slow the cue ball down.
Angle, and you're out. All right. I think there's no getting away from it. You're out this rack. And the score is going to be 9-4. Now, previous to this game, you lost a close match to
Jimmy Wedge. Yeah, I lost 11-10.
Wow.
And he's a great player. I played it once before and I won 11-10, so it was payback time.
We'll watch out for Tony Robles next time.
That's right.
Tony's trying to, well, he's making sure you've got your 1 ball frozen, but he's hoping that nothing goes. Look at that 1 ball.
It's a familiar spot.
Well, you'd really be in trouble, or the breaker would be in trouble if nothing went on the break every time. But with balls going on the break, it's certainly to your advantage. So as you said before, in preparation for a tournament, you would practice an hour or so a day for about a week.
A week to 10 days.
What do you do when there's not a tournament for months?
I very seldom play at all. Like, I haven't played an hour since the U.S. Open.
Well, I think, folks, you better get good at your game before you do that.
I'm never really out of stroke because I'm in here 90 hours a week. So even though I'm not physically playing, I'm always watching, and I'm cleaning the tables, and I'm cleaning the balls, and I'm always watching other people play. So that kind of keeps me in stroke.
Right. Right. Well, it's like me. At the office, we're duplicating tapes and talking to people about pool all day long. So, you know, I feel like I'm not so far out of stroke.
Exactly. I feel
just
the same
by being
way.
involved.
Not only that, I believe that playing competitively is work. It's a lot of work to try to play well in these tournaments. You have to practice while you're there. You have to eat properly. You have to get your rest. And it's a job.
Let's talk about that for a minute, about rest. Do you take naps during the day, or do you sleep a good night's sleep at a tournament?
I sleep a good night's sleep, and I try to get to bed as early as possible. And I wake up really early to get down to the practice table because I like to peek while I'm at the tournament. I don't want to peek in the room and over-practice. I like to peek while I'm there.
Mm-hmm. And how about eating habits?
I like to eat light. I usually eat 2 or 3 hours prior to a match. I never play full. I would rather play hungry.
Oh, interesting. All right, what do we have here?
Well, I'm thinking about the next 4 balls there, which is the 2,
and
the 3, the 4, and the 6.
Right.
And if I don't execute this shot properly, then I'm going to be in trouble for the next one and the next 3 balls. So I'm happy with what happened there because I can draw to the rail and bounce out and shoot the 4, which is on the bottom rail. And here, that soft stroke comes into play again, where I give the English a chance to take, and it brings me a lot closer to the 4 than what people might have thought. I have to go up and down on this shot.
See? Now, looking at the monitor, it looks like you could hold it. But The angle is
the
steeper.
angle is a lot sharper. Yeah.
It's a lot sharper when you're playing.
This shot here, I just want to go straight up and shoot the 7 in the same pocket, and I wound up just a little short. But I'm playing well, and I'm winning 9-4. So I decided to just cut the ball in the corner and go 2 rails.
Are you just high top, or you coming backwards?
No, I'm giving it low right, a lot of English. And I didn't even hit the rail. Everything worked out perfectly.
Shot.
Yes.
Great shot. Now you're going 2 rails for the
Now
9?
I'm going to go 2 rails to the 9.
All right, that makes it 10-4.
When things are going well, it doesn't really matter what happens. You seem to get out of the trouble. Just one of those matches where everything is going well. I'm feeling comfortable. I'm breaking balls in. I'm running out.
But so many matches, things go well for a player, but they still get in trouble because they didn't take advantage of the situation. It happens all the time. But you really just kept control of the game. Despite, you had some good breaks, good things happened, but you made sure that you stayed in control.
Right.
All right, what do we have here? We got a problem on the bottom rail.
Yeah, I have a problem on the bottom rail, but I'm feeling real good. I'm almost straight in the side pocket with the 1. So I decide to come down to the bottom rail and bank the 2 because it's not that difficult of a bank.
But you got to get over for the 4 again.
Yes. And I'll draw the cue ball over for the 4. And there again, I have the perfect angle for the bank and to get position. Didn't even hesitate to shoot it.
One stroke.
Exactly. Things are just going so well. There's no need to look around too much. And I go back to shoot the 6 in the side.
Let me tell you something cute here. Our editor prepared the beginning and the opening and close of this video, and he messed up a little bit. We're going to see your picture here. There you go. This is our opening and closing shot. But now we're going to get out of it. He says, oh, my God, what did I do? But we're going to see you make the last ball. There we go. And this is it. 11-4. Jose, a remarkable match, one worthy of being on our Accu-Stats catalog.
Thank you very much, Pat.
And I wish you well. We're going to come up with statistics also. There we go. Jose Garcia, 958, 93 balls pocketed. We clocked you for 1 miss, that bank, a safety mistake, and 2 position errors. Typically, a top player will have a dozen mistakes. So congratulations.
Thank you very much, Pat. It was great to review the tape with you.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.